The Democrats have been hijacked, we know that, by a progressive gang that has designs for a utopian nightmare that they're trying to thrust on all of us right now. I don't see the savior coming from the Republican Party. I'll repeat what I said last week. I don't. Yeah, there are a lot of good people within the Republican Party, but largely they're selling out. I don't see solutions to shrink the government. Do you? Well, we are turning right now live to Michael Savage, who, of course, is he needs no introduction. He's a talk show host now new here at WABC, 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern Time. He also is the author, of course, of many books. The latest is Train Tracks, Family Stories for the Holidays. Dr. Savage, so great to have you back. What do you think about a third political party? Do you think that America is ripe for one right now?
Absolutely. On my show, I stated that a new party, but it would take 5 to 10 years to have any effect, to be honest, and I don't know if we have that left. Nevertheless, there is no Republican Party. It's an appendage of the Democrat machine, as we've all just seen. It's two-card Monte, as we well know. It's a game being played against the American people. You've got the drunk Boehner on one side and the quasi-pseudo-crypto-Marxist on the other, who's really just enjoying a ride in Hawaii right now, representing his factions. As you well know, there was no tax increase for the rich. There was a tax increase for the working people who make a lot of money. But there was no tax increase for Warren Buffett, who still pays 15%. No tax increase for General Electric, which paid no taxes on its $5 billion in income last year. No tax increase for the hedge fund operators who put Obama back in power. It's a charade. The Republicans should have said this during the debates, but Boehner, the ice cube swirler, said nothing because he is part of the problem. So, yes, we need a nationalist party in the United States of America.
That's a very interesting term, actually, nationalist.
I don't even know what the words mean anymore.
Yeah.
How about my phrase, borders, language, culture, defining what this nation is or what every nation is? Every nation on earth has been defined by borders, by language, and by culture. The United States of America, in being melted down, having its borders eliminated by, first Clinton, by the way, was the big one, and eroded further by Bush, who opened up highways to Mexico, if you remember.
Right.
And now the permanent destruction by Obama granting amnesty to millions, tens of millions, God knows how many of illegal aliens, will destroy the nation permanently. This concept has been rejected not only by the people of the United States of America, but anywhere it's been tried. The melting down of borders has been rejected by people when they can vote on it. Look at what's happening in the so-called EU. The people in the sovereign nations hate the concept of a national federal European Union, which is a new form of Sovietism. Everyone understands where that's going. They don't want it. So what do we do about it is the question. You have the rudiments of a new party in this country called the Tea Party. They need to restructure their party. They need a charismatic leader, which they don't have. And if you say Tea Party, no one knows who the leader is because there is no leader. No man has stepped forward who could lead that party. No one who's an articulate speaker, a charismatic mover of people. That's what's been needed. Look who destroyed the power of the Tea Party, so they thought. First it was the Congressional Black Caucus, unto themselves a guild of special interests saying the Tea Party is racist, this and that. Then the unions, then the unions went after the Tea Party saying, Trumka of the unions, thuggishly saying, we will take them down. We will take them down like a murderer. It was unbelievable for me to listen to this. Take them down they did, with a little help from their stenographers and the press. They think they've neutralized the Tea Party. But, Aaron, the Tea Party hasn't gone away. If anything, I think that the people who are members or would-be members have become more emboldened and more motivated, and if you want to put it another way, more alarmed by what Obama's doing to this nation's sovereignty.
Yeah.
So come back to it without talking too much about it. The Tea Party is the rudiment of the new Nationalist Party. Somebody has to bring them all together, unite them like King David did the ancient tribes of Israel. And there is no King David out there. Who's the King David? Tell me who's going to do it in America. Who's the charismatic leader?
Yeah, there's nobody, so that begs the question, are you then kind of using your radio show, are you willing to use your radio show to do what nobody else is doing, and that is to at least set the guidelines, set the principles, let somebody else run away with it, but set the basics for what could be and what could be used by others to start a new party.
The problem is this. I could do it if I was 20 years younger. I would do it right now, but I'm not 20 years younger, and I don't have 20 years left in me. This is going to require enormous resources and enormous energy. I could guarantee you, Aaron, if I ever did this, I could raise probably $100 million within 3 months, easily. There are people so frustrated by the democracy that's gone in this country, the structure that's replaced, let's put it to you this way, replaced our democracy is what I meant to say, that they would clamor for the new Nationalist Party. But first, we have to explain to people what nationalism is. It's been turned into a dirty word by the internationalists,
right,
hasn't it?
Right.
Okay, the internationalists, of whom Obama is a proud member, maybe the world leader of the new Internationalist Party, the word nationalism was made into a dirty word over a 30-year period by fellow travelers in the media in particular. And of course, it all comes back again, I'm sorry to tell you, to the 1930s and Hitler and Mussolini and such, where every time you say you're a nationalist, they say you're Hitler or you're a fascist. And that, of course, is a success of the radical, illegitimate left that hates nationality, hates sovereignty, hates borders, hates language, hates culture, and keeps pushing massive immigration, particularly of uneducated third world immigrants into Western nations in order to dissolve their sovereignty. That's exactly what they've been doing. It's exactly what they intend to do. Dissolve the sovereignty of nations.
That's right. They see this as internationalism, as we, Leon Panetta, Institute for Policy Studies Panetta, we're going to inform you, Congress, when we want to go to war, just bringing the United States more and more along with the rest of the world, and less as a sovereign country. We're speaking with Michael Savage, the author of Train Tracks, Family Stories for the Holidays. I love that title, by the way, Family Stories for the Holidays. I read the book. You've got Dead Man's Pants in there, a lot of morbidity. Perfect for the holidays. I don't want you to write a book for funerals. If Family Stories for Funerals, I don't want to see what that would look like if this is your Family Stories for the Holidays.
Family Stories is my family story.
Yeah, I'm joking.
About the holidays. They package it for that, but it's a universally interesting book for those people who are interested in the tragicomic life of families. No family is this Hallmark card, as we all know.
Yeah.
Every family has its share of tragedy and comedy, and this is what's in my Train Tracks. But to get back to the bigger issue, Aaron, we're in very bad trouble here. We've all seen nakedly what I've been saying for 18 years on the radio. Borders, language, culture has been my motto in radio from the beginning. When I went on the radio, the first week I stated that nationalism is the only thing that can save America, and that a new nationalist party that has a very strict firewall that does not permit the radical fringe to bring it into the area of racism, because that is always the danger. You see, it's the same with any group. Not only are you going to have people who are inclined towards racism and fascism in such a party, as you can see in any group, there are fringe members. For example, amongst the Democrat Party, you have the fringe left who produced Barack Obama. Let's not forget that. Barack Obama was a member of the far left fringe of the Democrat Party, which has seized power now. They are so clever, they have so much power and influence, because they've hoodwinked the morons in the American public to not even understanding who they are, what they stand for.
You know, I'm really glad that you recognize that, because I don't think another single radio host understands what the progressive gang really is and who they did. This is not your grandfather's Democrat Party. This is not your father's Democrat Party. I actually think that the average moderate Democrat voter, if it was ever verbalized to them, if it was ever explained to them what the progressive gang actually is, the extremists that they are, the way that they want to take us back to this 18th century Fabian socialism, it's not the Democrat Party. I think that they might even join this third party movement as well.
Well, here's the problem. The opposition party doesn't exist. Had we had a Republican opposition, they would have explained that. Romney was chosen specifically to not explain that. Romney was chosen to lose. Romney was a fall guy. I said that for a year straight. And it came out right after the election. If you saw the article, one of his sons said, my father didn't really want to run. He never wanted to run for this office. He was forced into running. Aaron, I've been saying that all along. He had the chance to win many, many steps along the way, as did McCain, if you went back to McCain.
Right.
McCain threw the election. Romney threw the election. Both of them did not want to run. Both of them were fall guys of the so-called Republican Party. It's an establishment trick to let us think that there's actually a choice and get us all involved and wrapped up in it.
All right.
Let's not relive the election, Aaron. The important thing is, what do we do going forward?
Exactly. Well,
going forward, we have to, I think, on radio, continue to educate the audiences about nationalism and the importance of our nation and our nation's sovereignty. Borders, language, culture. Borders, language, culture. It defines every nation on the planet. The flag, the language, the borders. And what is it that the internationalists do? They want to dissolve the borders. They want to introduce multiculturalism. They want to introduce a Tower of Babel of languages, multilingualism, telling us that that's an advanced state, multilingualism, which it certainly is not an advanced state, especially when you're flooding a nation with illiterate or semi-literate hordes who are not even literate in their own language. For example, in America, we're not getting educated Hispanics from Central America or Mexico. We're getting people who are largely illiterate in Spanish. I don't know if people understand that. They can speak the language somewhat, but they can't even write it or read it. I don't think people understand that. We're not getting people who are literate in Spanish into America. We're getting illiterates into the country. Now, what was the purpose of that? Is it just to fill the labor force? Primarily, yes. Is it also to fill the Democrat voting rolls? Yes.
Yes.
But there's another reason, and it's a darker reason. And, of course, it's the reason I've been spelling out, which is to bust the concept of America as a sovereign nation, to destroy it once and for all. Let's put this on the cellular level, since I'm trained as a biologist. The ultimate sovereignty of every person are the trillions of cells within our body.
Right.
And the ultimate sovereignty within the cell is the cell wall. It's what holds the cell wall and all of the goo inside from spilling out. If you dissolve a cell wall, the protoplasm within the cell wall pours out of it, and it's no longer a cell. It loses its integrity. That's what's happening to a nation like ours. If you destroy the cell wall called the borders, what happens is it loses its integrity. It becomes nothing, which is exactly what Obama wants for this nation, is for us to have no identity whatsoever, so that it can be, so the protoplasm of our nation can be permitted or urged to flow into the protoplasm of the bigger world.
Right.
Sounds good on principle, doesn't it?
It
How'd
does.
That work out in Egypt?
Yeah, just as much
How'd
of
that work out in Libya? How'd that work out in Syria? These people are dangerous, and half of them are insane.
Yeah, the progressives are delusional. And the Republicans at this point, I think a lot of people think, are useless. Michael Savage, again, 9 to 11 p.m., right here at WABC, my show every week, 7 to 9 p.m., every Sunday, that is.